Welcome back to Math 171, Pre-Calculus Algebra. In this video, we're going to take a look at synthetic division of polynomials. And I will give the disclaimer that my notation is a little bit different from what our textbook uses. So I'm going to start by doing the same division problem that we started the last video with, which is x squared plus 10x plus 21 divided by x plus 3. So, in the last video we did this with long division. Now we're going to use synthetic division. And we can only use synthetic division. So synthetic division only works when dividing by something of the form x minus a. Now I know here we have a plus sign in what we're dividing by, but that could be written as x minus negative 3. So, like I said, the book uses a little bit different notation here. What I like to do is write my division sign like this and then just stick the a up here. So we're dividing by x plus 3, which is x minus negative 3. So the number that's going to go up here is negative 3. And then inside of here, I'm just going to put the numbers in front of the x to whatever power. So when there's nothing there, it's implied to be a 1. Unless it's subtracted, then it's negative 1. So we have 1, 10, 21. And the rule is going to be, I'm going to take that first number and just bring it down. So it was a 1 to start with, it becomes a 1 now. Now, I'm going to multiply the 1 here by the negative 3 that we have up there. So that ends up being negative 3. Now I'm going to add these numbers together, so 10 and negative 3 gives me 7. Multiply my 7 by my negative 3. That gives me negative 21. Then add those together and put a 0. Now you notice that I drew a little bit of a line before that term because that's to separate the quotient from the remainder. So we can read this off doing the same thing. The spot immediately to the left of that line is going to be the constant term, so the one without an x. And then they just add x's or exponents to the x as you go from left or right to left. So the next term is going to be x. So I get the quotient here is x plus 7. And no remainder, and if you look back at the last video, you'll see that was what we got using long division. There is one thing that we do have to deal with special with synthetic division that we kind of had to deal with long division, but you don't notice it as much. So that's going to be if I take 5x cubed plus 6x plus 8. And we're going to divide this by x plus 2. So, again, x plus 2 is the same thing as x minus minus 2, so I can put the negative 2 up here. But now, if we notice here, we go from x cubed to just x. We don't have an x squared term there. When we do synthetic division, we need to have all of the terms there. So put the 5 for the x cubed. Now, because there's not an x squared term there, we need to put a 0 in that spot. And then we can still do 6 for the x and then 8 for the constant. And again, the rules are the same. We bring down the 5, multiply by -2, and add. Multiply by -2, which gives me 20, and add. And then multiply by -2, and add, to give me -44. So we would write this quotient as 5x squared minus 10x plus 26, and then minus 44 over x plus 2. So that's how we can divide polynomials using synthetic division. In the next video, we're actually going to talk about an important application of synthetic division of polynomials.